All right, troops. Hopefully, it's Monday. Hopefully the Chiefs are champions. I hope. It's making me crazy. I hope. If it is, let's go. Let's go. All right, down to business. So we already did our notes from Friday on empirical formulas. Well, now at the bottom of that sheet, look, still wearing the same shirt. We are going to do molecular formulas. Now, once something is made, other things can be made and still have the same root or the same empirical formula, but it's going to be a molecular formula. It's going to be a form of it. Okay, so it says a molecular formula represents the number of each type of atom in a molecule. It may be equal to the empirical formula or some multiple of it. So the molecular formula must have the same ratio of elements as the empirical formula, which means it can be reduced. Okay, so to find the empirical formula, again, I'm throwing you to the wolves. Add up the mass of the empirical formula. So on this problem down here, it says a compound has an empirical formula of CH2HCl. So add that up. 2 carbons, which is 2 times 12 apiece, which is 24. And H, which is 1.01. And Cl is 35.45. So if you add all that up, let's see, 5960.46. 60.46. Now it says divide the sum into the molar mass. Molar mass. So what is 181.5 divided by 60.46? Well, you can see, folks, that is clearly 18 divided by 6 is clearly 3. Okay? So that's your multiplier. Then it comes back and says multiply each of the subscripts in the empirical formula by the quotient. Woo! There's a good math term. Quotient. So we're going to take 3 times C2HCl. So we're going to get C6. Seasick. Do you guys get seasick? That was funny. Can't make this stuff up, folks. It just happens. Only to Mr. Lemon, I know. So you're going to get 3 times 2, which is C6. 3 times H, which is H3. 3 times Cl, which is Cl3. Okay? Now, you can do this problem and dump it into this problem. So let's take a look at that one. So if you go to the back of that sheet from Friday, ooh, my Atlanta, I'm going to have to get a different sheet because I need some space. Like 6 feet of space. Stay back, stay back. We're going to do number 9. Number 9. So I'm going to read it. That's what I'm talking about. Vanillin. You guys like vanilla. Put it in some chocolate chip cookies. Vanillin is a common flavoring. 63.15 grams of carbon. 5.3 grams of hydrogen. And, oh no, I'll run out of some room. And 31.6 grams of oxygen. Now, you guys are going to do the empirical formula first because you have to have an empirical formula. So, from Friday, we had to change each one of these to moles. Mole, 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 hey, hey, hey. So you have 12.0 grams. That is the mass of carbon. You have 1.01 grams of hydrogen. That is the mass of hydrogen. And then you have, 16 grams per. So, look at there. The funky chicken calculator. Funky chicken. 63.15. You know who I'm talking to out there that has these funky chickens. Can I do that? 5 point. Gosh, I have just too much here. Can I slide that this way and still see it? Oh, gosh. Yes, we can. Okay. 5.2, 5.2625. And I have 5.3 divided by 1.01. Boom. 5.24. 8. Then I have 31.6 divided by 16. 1.975. What do I do now? RB, that's right. Divide by the smallest mass, Mr. Lutman. Good job. Coming after Austin next. Or maybe poor Russ. Or maybe Ken. Maybe D squared. Maybe Hall Daddy. Miss all you guys. So 5.248 divided by 1.975. Uh-oh. I'm glad we did this together. This is going to be funky. Yep. I was afraid of this. All right, now, this is kind of interesting because before, what question was that? Before, last week, we had something that came up as 3.5.
Hey. You still have those 8?
All right, so here we had 3.5. So in order to do that, we had to double it. Okay, now if you look up in your notes, here, if the simplified results suggest a fraction, like a half, or a third, or 2/3, you're going to have to clear the fraction by multiplying the denominator. So if it was a half, you'd have to clear it by the reciprocal, 2/1. If it was a third, you'd clear it by just multiplying by 3/1, or 3. Okay, no big deal. So when things come up from time to time, like they did here, look at what we have here. 2.66. Well, what is 0.66? That is like saying 2/3. Okay, so we're going to multiply this by the denominator to clear that decimal out, or that fraction out. But once we do 3 here, we have to do 3 here. We don't want to feel left out. So, multiply it out. 2.66 times 3, you get 8. Well, if that's 8, that has to be 8, and that is 3. So our empirical formula for this is C8, H8, O3. Mercy. Okay, now, that's the first part, empirical formula. Now, if you look on your problem, so C8, H8, O3 is our formula. So we're going to have to add that up. So it's 8 times 12 plus 8 times 1.01 plus 3 times 16. So 8 times 12 is 96 plus 8.08 plus 48. 152.08 is the empirical mass of that. So just like we did before, we have to divide it into the, oh, look at there. 152 over 152 equals 1. So the multiplier is 1. which means that stays the same because 1 times C8H8O3 is the same thing. So this is possible. You can have a same or similar molecular formula to the empirical formula. All right. So if we do an easy one together, here's the molecular or empirical formula is already done for you. So let's just add that up. 3 times 12 plus 4 times 1.01 plus 3 times 16. So when we add that up, we're going to get 36 plus 4.04 plus 48. 8804. Okay, and then you get the molar mass. Go get it, Coach Sortino. Call in. The multiplier is going to be 2. Okay, 2. So you're going to take 2 times your empirical formula, which is C3H4O3. So you're going to have C6H8O6. Yes. Okay, so that is how you do molecular formulas. Okay. Now, folks, there is a ton of questions that you can be doing. So from Friday, if you did not finish, if you did not finish the notes off the paper we just did, come on. If you did not finish all those problems, I would finish those problems. If you look in your packet, you still have percent composition problems. You can do more percent composition problems. Here at the bottom is an empirical formula problem. There's some more working with percent comps. We already did Molalicious. We already did the lab. Hopefully you guys took the lab quiz on Friday. There are our notes. Here is a lot of formulas. Molecular. Here are molecular formulas. And then we have the review. So between this sheet and what else you have a lot of work that you could be working on. So please just don't sit there and go, I don't know what to do. Okay? So you have all that work to get going today, Monday. Hopefully we're Super Bowl champs. Tomorrow, finish everything up. Organize everything. And then Wednesday, you guys are going to take the second quiz. Okay? So continue to work, continue to progress. If you guys need anything, compile your questions and maybe Miss Moore will come over and help you out. So I hope all is well. Other than that, I think I'm done here. Have a good day, guys.